Hello everyone, welcome to my craft room. Today is day 19, inspired by a photo. And I got out a few photos. At first I thought I'm going to do a cabinet card, and these, this is Pete's mum, and this is, I think it's my great grandmother Ada, Hilda, and anyway, it doesn't matter, does it? And this is Peter's mother's father. And the first one I'm going to do, I decided after mucking around a bit, I'll show you those in a moment, was Grandpa Hill. I've got these little images off the Graphic Fairy, and I thought, it just looked a bit like that. So this is going to be as simple as it gets for this one. It's just, I should have perhaps done this before I got it out, started the camera, but you know. So just basically cut this out. Got all these beautiful old photos, and I've been going to like do a journal and just pop them into them, but you know, you never get around to it. First I was going to scrapbook them when I was doing scrapbooking, and then started journaling or making journals. I don't journal a lot, but one thing gets in front of the other and you just don't get around to it. So there's that one. I'm just going to leave the back plain. Oh no, I wasn't. I've got this little piece of, so I'll just, actually what I like doing, I seem to be able to handle the scalpel better than my scissors these days. Just chop it out. Would have been easier if I did it off camera, wouldn't it? But anyway. Hopefully it's not too boring for you. There we go, so there's one. Let's see if I just do it with, beauty of doing this on the glass, you just turn the photo and your blade stays on the glass, so you don't have to move anything around. So there we go. So I've got it like that, and just straighten that there a bit. I did go a bit wide on that one. A bit of that. Okay. So then I'm just going to do a little bit on the inside with vintage photo. Now you could put acetate or vellum or something like that on here just to keep the photo nice, preserve it, so to speak. But the photo I'm going to use, I've got so many of them, I don't know how come they got extras. I guess they got given to Nana and Papa and Auntie Agnes and all those, and then I ended up getting them back through Mum. So there's these little ones of, I love that one, but I think it's going to be, oh no, I could use that one. That's my Nana, and well, Mum's Nana, my great grandma. Yes. So I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to use just around the edge I was going to use these little ones there of me. I think one of my uncles, Uncle Jack, he was a great photographer. He loved taking photos and always had his camera around his neck. And Ada Stevens and Margaret Stevens, yep. And there was always photos taken whenever he came up. And then he printed them off and shared them around. Now on this one, I'm going to stick it to a piece of, yeah, I think I like it like that. So I'll do that, and this will stiffen it a little bit too. So it doesn't look authentic. It's not. It's nothing that you know. It's just a Jeanette thing. If that sounds right. Okay. So that's just going to shine through there, and I might just write, you know, their names on there again so that I know who they are. And so this might be just a way. It's a bit like making a slide, but only you've got your photo instead of the negative. There we go, just round that little bit off there. And there's our first one. Very easy to do. And the graphic fairy, I think I just put in something slide and field slides or something like that. And because it was when I got it when I was doing the using Tracy's nature, making her little botanical slides. So there we go. There's the first one, Nana and Mum. That's it. And then I can just at the back just put that. Okay, let's get rid of that. So there we have Grandpa Hill in the original and Nana and Mum in the other. Okay, they were the ones I was going to use, but we'll do those another time. Now the next ones, like I said, I thought about doing the cabinet cards, and then I found this photo, and Joy, if you're watching, it's of your mum, Auntie Hilda, and they used to do sailing, rowing, and I think it was down at Henley, because they used to go to Henley Beach or Semaphore quite regularly and swim. And so I just have a sip of my coffee before it goes cold. And it's actually a postcard, and that got me thinking about the postcard stamp that I've got. And then, so I've got one to go, that can go on the back of that one, and this one is a Sunday school picnic with us all down at the beach. We used to have so much fun, and then it's not the ideal size, and it's definitely not, you know, the same, but it's my version. So all I'm going to do with that one is, because it's black and white, I'll just grab one. I've just got pumice stone. Before I do that, I'll show you how I stamped that. Might be an idea. Because it's such a big stamp, I used cream cardstock. The other one, this one, I actually used a piece of an old pad, cardstock that was on the back of an old pad. So basically I inked up the pad. This was a Kazaz stamp, or was it Darkroom Door? I'll have a look in a minute. One of the t'other. Then I basically just pop my card down. If I pick it up, my hands, it just it's useless. Then I just use my brayer. You couldn't use your hands, just to smooth it out. And then you usually get a really nice pick, and then I just cut it out. So for the back of that, you could use something like that. What was the other one I was going to use? Here. It's a bit smaller, but I've got these girls that were at the beach, and we could sort of pop that like that. These are all family photos, and some of them I'm not sure who they are, but we just want a little flourish. Yeah, so this one I was trying to look at and it hasn't got anything on the back. But like I said, the girls all went down the beach. They were always down at the beach in the summer. And I'm just going to randomly stamp on this one. I'll use the round, just around the edges. It's basically words and flowers, just to and I mean, this would never have been done on a postcard, but we can do as we please, can't we, really? That'll do, it's just a bit of texture behind. Okay. And then what I like to do with photos like that, if you just go around the edge, although this one's not going to do it. I was taking a bit of it off. It just ages the edge of it and just adds a little bit of interest. No, it's not going to do it on that part. No, but that's okay. So we're just going to pop that one down on there. And you know, in hindsight, I should have just drawn lines. I don't like that at all. Bear with me just a second. Okay, back again. I'm still not 100% sure on this one. I got a piece of cardstock and did that to it. I will just grab... Should have done that before too, shouldn't I? It's a weird day for me today. Not to worry. Okay. So the front of it is a bit too white, so I've just got antique linen. And we'll just go over that just to age it a little bit. Just makes it look a little bit older. Now you could use a die cut to cut out a piece to put that in there, you know, have that part cut out. A lot of people have done that, so that's why I didn't really want to do that. But hindsight, still not 100%, but we're going to do it just can be a little tuck into a page. There. Yeah, I've just had a brainstorm. I'm back again. I'll be back again. Okay, so this is really going well away from what I was going to do. But I remembered I had some Graphic 45 bits and pieces that I used whoops, something's gone down there. Used in a scrapbook project, and I thought perhaps we could jazz the back up a bit. So it's definitely a Jeanette project, hey? I loved this paper. I did a little mini album with it. And I know down at Semaphore they had all the side shows and things down there. Looks a bit like the pavilion down there. Maybe that's a bit too... No, that might do. That might just be enough. You can easily get yourself into a muddle, can't you, when you decide that you're not going to, well, I just didn't want to be 100% organised. I wanted to just do a bit of ad-lib stuff, because I'm not very good at doing that, as you can see. Perhaps just a little bit of colour there. Just taking that white off. Yep, so we'll pop that one down there. And I guess this just depicts where they were and what they were doing. I think the girl, they used to play tennis and all sorts of things. It was a very sporty and all for that era. They really were ahead of their times by the look of them. Okay, so that has been inspired by that. A bit different, but I like it. I like it. Hasn't taken away from the photo, but it's still, and this one, because it's my my era. So this would have been, well, how old would I have been there? About 5. So this would have been about 1960. All those gorgeous people. We did have fun. We had a ball down there. I don't want to cover. A lot of it up, but I just thought I might, where's my little scissors gone? Just might pop. Because we used to do shells, we used to have sandcastle competitions and running competitions and 4-legged races and all those sort of things that were exciting. What am I looking for? A puncher. My little pricker. My little pricker. Just to get those little bits out. This is a die that I got. I really don't know where I got it from, to be quite honest. It's one of those that I've had for years, and in my scrapbooking time we just used to use it on the page as a filler. Well, I'm quite pleased with these, even though I felt as though I was sinking there at one stage, drowning in the sea. I think they come out okay, especially too if you're going to do, like, these will go back into the bag that I excuse me, that I got them from, and they'll all be ready when I, like, a bit like Rachel did. She got some photos of her father's family home and did those, and they'll probably go back to when she decides to do the album too. So, you know, it's sometimes, you know, doing these things, you don't have to use them straight away. They can be popped aside for another date. And I'm just going to write down here hope my big buff head's not in the road. And that was the Congregational Church then. Okay. So, there's my little project for today. Inspired by the photos, and so they was inspired by this one, and there's that one that was inspired by that one. So like I said, different, not a lot of embellishment and all done on them, but I think they're effective. This one especially, I mean, there's nothing much there at all, is there? And then you've just got your postcard bit on the back. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed what you saw. If you do, give it a thumbs up, comment. I love hearing your comments. And until we meet again, happy crafting and bye for now.